What's your worst Airbnb story that took an unexpected turn? I'd saved for 2 years to afford 6 weeks in Paris as my first post-grad European summer. The €30 per night Airbnb was all I could manage. When I arrived, exhausted from 20 hours of travel, the French couple who owned the apartment looked like they belonged on the cover of Vogue. Meanwhile, my clothes were wrinkled and I needed a shower. American, yes? First time Paris? I nodded, too exhausted to respond properly. They immediately started speaking French to each other. The wife gestured down a narrow hallway while the husband grabbed my suitcase, saying broken English house rules that I was barely understanding. Looking back, my jet lag might have just saved my life. My first morning started with humiliation. They'd forgotten to mention the bathroom was shared. I walked in on the husband, who made no effort to cover himself. "Americans so prudish," he said in French to his wife, who laughed from the bedroom. She turned red like a tomato. Later, at breakfast, they served me differently than themselves. They had fresh pastries. I got stale bread. "Americans don't know good food anyway," the wife said in French. "She probably prefers McDonald's," the husband agreed. "Look how she dresses. No taste. That shirt is from Target." I saw the tag when she bent over. They analyzed every detail of my appearance while I sat right there, practicing my breathing exercises. "Her roots are showing. Boxed eye," the wife observed. I escaped to explore Notre Dame, but the day got worse when I returned. When I returned that evening, they were having dinner with friends. More French commentary. "We have an American girl staying here," the wife announced like I was a zoo animal. "She doesn't understand a word of French. Watch this." She turned to me with fake sweetness and said in English, "You have nice day?" I nodded and smiled. They burst out laughing. "She's like a trained dog," someone said in French. My face stayed neutral as I walked to my room. Through the wall, I heard the husband say, "The lamp in her room was already broken. I'll say she did it. Americans always pay without questioning." The wife agreed. "The water stain on the wall too. We'll charge her €800 in damages." They laughed about how I'd probably cry and call my parents for money. Day 2 started worse. I'd left for an early morning walk along the Seine. When I returned, my door was wide open. They were inside. I stood frozen as I peeped into my room, as the wife held up my underwear. "Look at this," she said in French. "Fruit of the loom." She probably bought a pack of 10. The husband was going through my toiletries. "She's trying to look Parisian with American pharmacy cosmetics." I cleared my throat. They jumped, and the wife quickly said in English, "We check for drugs is policy." They left, but I felt violated. My hands shook as I repacked everything. That afternoon, I overheard them on a phone call. "The mold behind the armoire is spreading," the husband said. "The last guest complained about respiratory problems." The wife laughed. "This American won't notice. They think everything in Paris is charming, even black mold." Then came dinner time. They had their adult son over. He looked about 30, and the way he stared at me made my skin crawl. The parents spoke in French. "She's pretty for an American," the mother said. "Single, traveling alone." The son asked, "Which room?" The father gave him the door code. "It doesn't lock from inside," he added. "The bathroom doesn't either." They all laughed. The son said, "I've always wanted to try an American. They're easy, right? All those movies they make." The mother giggled. "Just wait until tonight. She sleeps deeply. I checked on her last night. My blood went cold." The son added, "My friend Mark wants to come too. Is that okay?" The parents shrugged. "Why not? She leaves tomorrow anyway. She won't have time to cause problems." I stood up from the table, my legs somehow steady despite everything. This had gone way too far. I looked directly at the son and spoke in perfect French. "Touch me and you'll be in prison before sunrise." The silence was deafening. His parents' mouths hung open. "I'm a translator for the European Court of Human Rights." I lied smoothly. "This entire stay has been documented for a human trafficking investigation." The mother collapsed into a chair. "No, please," I continued. "You gave him my door code. I have it all recorded." I held up my phone. "Unless you want this investigation to continue." The father fell to his knees. "Please, what do you want?" The mother ran to their bedroom. They emptied their safe, returning with stacks of bills. "Here, take it. Delete everything." The son tried grabbing my phone. I told him to sit down. The mother sobbing, "Please don't destroy our lives." I took the money and said, "The reviews will be honest though."